he said something that I think is one of the most honest and powerful things any elite athlete has ever said about performing under pressure. He said, don't overthink it. Don't tighten up. Don't let the moment shrink you. Just stay free, stay excited, and let your football speak. 4 sentences from the most prolific striker in world football right now. And every single word of it is backed by decades of performance psychology research. Today we are going to break down exactly what he means, and why the ability to stay free, genuinely free, under the most intense pressure imaginable might be the most valuable psychological skill any human being can develop. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to PsyWealth Richie. Today we are covering something that I think is going to hit differently from anything we have done on this channel before, because we are not talking about discipline or wealth or records. We are talking about something quieter and more fundamental than all of those things. The psychology of the present moment, and how Haaland uses it to perform at his best when everything is on the line. If you are new here, subscribe. Now let's get into it. Let me describe something that happens to almost every person who has ever been in a high-pressure situation. The moment arrives, the one that matters. The presentation, the interview, the penalty kick, the conversation that could change everything. And instead of showing up fully, instead of performing at the level you are genuinely capable of, something tightens. Your breathing changes. Your movements become careful rather than natural. Your thinking becomes self-conscious rather than free. You start performing a version of yourself rather than being yourself. The moment has shrunk you, and the performance suffers in direct proportion to how much you shrunk. Haaland described that phenomenon exactly. Don't tighten up. Don't let the moment shrink you. He knows what it feels like because he has felt it. He knows what it costs because he has paid the price. And he developed a specific psychological framework for preventing it from happening, not by eliminating the pressure, but by changing his relationship with it completely. Here is what actually happens in your brain when you overthink a performance. Your prefrontal cortex, it's the part of your brain responsible for conscious, deliberate thinking, becomes hyperactive. It starts analyzing, evaluating, second, guessing, monitoring, and in doing all of that, monitoring, it begins to interfere with the parts of your brain that actually control skilled automatic performance. There is a phenomenon in sports psychology called paralysis by analysis. It describes exactly what happens when conscious overthinking interrupts the automatic execution of a skill that has been practiced to the point of unconscious competence. A footballer who has practiced the specific movement 10,000 times doesn't need to think about how to execute it. Their body knows. Their muscle memory has it completely. But the moment conscious overthinking enters, the moment the prefrontal cortex starts monitoring and evaluating the movement in real time, the automatic execution gets disrupted. Errors appear that never appear in training. Movements that feel natural in practice feel wooden and forced in the match. The skill is still there, but the overthinking is sitting on top of it, preventing it from coming out. Haaland said, don't overthink it. That is not casual advice. That is a precise psychological instruction. Get your conscious mind out of the way and let your preparation do what preparation is designed to do. Here is the part of what Haaland said that I find most psychologically sophisticated. He didn't just say, don't overthink. He gave the alternative. Stay free, stay excited. Those two words, free and excited, are not just motivational language. They describe a specific psychological state that research shows is optimal for elite performance. The state of flow, what psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi described as the optimal experience, the state where challenge and skill are perfectly matched, where self-consciousness disappears, where time seems to slow or stop, where performance feels effortless despite requiring extraordinary effort. That state, flow, is what Haaland is describing when he says stay free. And the entry point into flow is almost always some version of genuine excitement. Not forced positivity, not performed enthusiasm. Genuine excitement about what you are doing, the kind that comes from loving your craft, from being genuinely present in the moment rather than monitoring your performance from a distance, from caring about the football itself rather than the outcome of the football. Haaland stays excited because he genuinely loves what he does. And that love, that authentic engagement with the activity itself, is what keeps him free on the biggest stages when everyone else tightens. Now here is where Haaland's philosophy goes somewhere I didn't expect. He said, "You never know what is going to happen in your life. You never know what is going to happen tomorrow or the next day. That is why you need to live in the moment. Enjoy the present. Don't think about what is going to happen tomorrow. Just enjoy the moment." That is not just performance psychology. That is a complete life philosophy, and it connects directly to one of the most well-researched concepts in modern psychology: mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the current moment, without judgment and without excessive concern for what has already happened or what might happen next. Research on mindfulness consistently shows that people who practice present moment awareness experience lower anxiety, better decision-making, higher creativity, stronger relationships, and measurably better performance across virtually every domain that has been studied. Most people live in the past or the future. They replay what went wrong. They worry about what might go wrong. They are physically present in the current moment, but psychologically somewhere else entirely. Haaland lives in the now, not as a passive acceptance of whatever happens, but as an active, deliberate, psychologically informed choice to give everything that is available to him, all of his attention, all of his energy, all of his capacity, to the moment that is actually happening right now. Let your football speak. That last part of what Haaland said is the one I want to sit with for a moment, because it contains a psychological wisdom that most people, not just athletes, spend years failing to apply. Most people want to explain themselves before they perform. They want to manage expectations, to contextualize, to make sure people understand what they are attempting before they attempt it. And all of that, pre-performance narration, is essentially a form of, insurance against judgment. A way of softening the potential impact of not being as good as you want to be. Haaland does the opposite. He performs, and then he lets the performance speak. He doesn't manage expectations. He doesn't contextualize his ambitions. He shows up, he does the work, and he trusts the work to communicate everything that needs to be communicated. That trust, that willingness to let your output represent you without narration or explanation, requires a specific kind of psychological confidence. The confidence that comes not from certainty about the outcome, but from certainty about the effort and the preparation that preceded it. You can't control whether the ball goes in. You can control whether you stayed free, stayed excited, and let your football speak. Haaland controls what he can control and releases everything else completely. And now I want to speak directly to you, because I think the core message of everything Haaland said applies to every single person watching this, regardless of whether you have ever been anywhere near a football pitch. How many moments in your life have you shrunk for? How many times has an important opportunity arrived, and instead of showing up fully, instead of being free and excited and fully present, you tightened? You overthought. You became self-conscious. You performed a careful version of yourself rather than the actual version, and the moment passed at less than what you were capable of giving it. Haaland's advice is direct and it is practical. Don't overthink it. The preparation is done. Trust it, don't tighten up. The tightening helps nothing and costs everything. Don't let the moment shrink you. The moment is not bigger than you. It is exactly the size of your preparation. Stay free. Get out of your own way, and let what you have built come out naturally. Stay excited. Find the genuine love for what you are doing, and let that love be the energy that carries you through. And let your work speak. Stop narrating. Stop managing. Stop explaining before the result arrives. Do the work, and trust it to say everything that needs to be said. You never know what is going to happen tomorrow, so stop spending today worrying about it. Be here fully right now, because right now is the only moment where anything you actually care about can happen. Erling Haaland performs on the biggest stages in world football with a freedom that makes it look like he is playing in a park in Norway. Not because the pressure isn't real, but because he has built a psychological relationship with the present moment that allows him to be fully here, fully excited, fully free, fully himself, regardless of how much is at stake. Don't overthink. Don't tighten. Don't shrink. Stay free, stay excited. Let your work speak. And enjoy the moment you are actually in rather than worrying about the ones that haven't arrived yet. That is not just a football philosophy. That is a complete instruction manual for being fully alive. Subscribe to PsyWealth Richie. Share this with someone who needs to stop overthinking and start showing up freely today. We will see you in the next one.